Hey y'all, and welcome back. Now, I did a video for y'all for Inkcarceration 2025. I didn't take too many pictures myself. I was living in the moment, so I did get enough videos to give people an idea exactly what type of music and everything was there and everything. But my main focus, and always has been my main focus, is the paranormal. And that was one of the main go-to reasons I really, really wanted to go to incarceration. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to do that? That's at the Ohio State Reformatory. It is the most haunted location in the state of Ohio. So, 15 acres of land and sitting right smack dab in the middle is a gigantic edifice that is wall to wall haunted. Now, before any of y'all sit there and try to say that I'm crazy and everything like that, now, there's been tons of people. I mean, if y'all are here for the paranormal, y'all know for a fact that there has been numerous paranormal investigators that went up into the Ohio State Reformatory. And every time they have had something happen. Now, I'm telling you, I would have loved, absolutely loved to have went afterwards and did a night investigation myself. But, I don't want to get too ahead of myself on the things that I had happen while I was there. I want to give a little description to y'all on how this type of place is. Now, imagine yourself being an inmate who has to go to this prison in itself. I mean, it is intense. When I first saw it up on the ridge while I was trying to park in the parking lot nearby, and I saw just the side of the structure looming up on top of the hill, and there was, it was cloudy, it was rainy, and everything like that. It just gave the best word for me to describe it. And I was on the phone, and I described it to the person I was on the phone with as being completely intense to visualize. I mean, seeing this huge structure that's housed so many people within its time is intimidating to somebody. I mean, and then when you go and see it personally, up close and personal, this is intense. And just the simple fact of just the architectural designs in general was totally different for the time. And just the amount of just the blend of different architectural designs in the building itself to begin with just creates an eerie sense around you, just visualizing all of it together. I mean, I'm going to give y'all a brief summary of the architectural designs that they had sat there and used. The gentleman who sat there and was the architect for this building is a gentleman named Levi T. Schofield. And he incorporated just various types of architectural designs when creating the Reformatory. It's a blend of Victorian Gothic, Richardsonian Romanesque, and Queen Anne architectural styles. All that combined together just really makes an eerie style to me. I mean, it was originally built for young first-time offenders. Think of basically a juvie back in the day, and it was constructed back in 1886, and between 1886 and 1910. And it was first designed to hold juvies. And it was to help rehabilitate them so, they can go and be a constructive working member of society. Basically, from what the signs and everything like that have was I read on the like historic markers and everything like that. And it ended up eventually once and I think it was the 1920s, the Dayton, Ohio jail caught fire. And so they had no other location to put these hardened criminals. And so they put them in this area that was for juvenile first time offenders. And you can just imagine the sort of mix ups and just altogether havoc that would create. I mean, you got maybe some young kid, 14, 15 years old, who maybe ran away from home or maybe stole a loaf of bread from the store or something, upside a hardened murderer, a gang member, because believe it or not, Dayton, Ohio in general, especially, well, Dayton jail systems, but especially Ohio in general, did have quite a number of gangsters housed within its state and within its penitentiary systems. Anybody know John Dillinger? Well, he was right there and escaped the Dayton jail systems himself. So, as you can see, there's been a plethora, because I can go and name a lot of other people who had passed through the Ohio systems, but I'm not going to go there. We're here for the paranormal, and that's what y'all want to hear about. I'm hoping that's what y'all want to hear about. I mean, the music, that's one thing. That's something I enjoy, but paranormal, that's what I'm here for. And I hope that's what you're here for, too. Now, I know I'm sitting here rambling and ranting to you about everything, but I want y'all to picture it. I mean, I'm gonna have pictures in here. As you can see, I have a picture of the structure in this video right here. But just wanted y'all to have just like a brief idea and get y'all in the mood for everything. And I will sit here and I'll tell you some of the things that I saw and some of the things that I noticed while I was in the can't even say four walls. The way that thing's built, there's a lot more walls and a lot more interesting tunnels and hallways, everything. It's an interesting building. And I'll show y'all some. If y'all ain't ever been there, I do make a suggestion if you live close to Ohio, I suggest you do make a trip over there. But we will get into more of that. Also, when I was going through and doing a little bit more research on the Ohio State Reformatory, I'll probably start shortening it to OSR to make it a little bit easier on me, and also probably make it a little bit less time consuming for y'all, for me having to say Ohio State Reformatory all the time. So I'll just go with OSR. And anyway, I was doing some research on it, and over 200 people had passed away under all sorts of different circumstances within the walls of the prison. And two of them were guards that were killed during an escape attempt. So there's been a lot of deaths in that place, alongside of, in the 1950s, there was a warden. His last name was Gatke. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I mean, I'm probably going to be like butchering it totally. If any of y'all can give me a proper pronunciation, let me know. And anyway, his wife died of pneumonia after an incident in which a gun had went off near the jewelry box while she was reaching in it. I don't know if she got hit. It didn't never mention that she did get hit from it, but that 3 days later she died of pneumonia. And he continued running the prison until 1959, where he died of complications of a heart attack while he was sitting at his desk. So even it didn't even just it wasn't even just the prisoners who had passed away in there. There had been guards and, as I said, the warden. And in the warden quarters of the prison, I think that might be better than OSR. I'll just keep on saying the prison. In the warden's quarters, there is rumors and speculation that go that the Gatke family, the husband and wife, actually still reside within those quarters in their afterlife. I'll get more onto that, some of the feelings I had in that area right there. Now, believe me or not, I can get a sense of this type of phenomena going on. A little bit of sensitivity to it. I'm not calling myself a medium or psychic by any means, but I do get a little sensitivity to certain locations. I might get a feeling or something like that of where I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to just get out of this place. There's something here that's no good. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all do that. It's more of the like primal gut instinct. That's more of what I consider it. I mean, I've had situations in my time where I'll be out in the woods and next thing I know, I'm like, I need to get out of here. And sure enough, there was a reason why I needed to get out of there. There was a wild animal, that actual big predator in the area and everything, but that's stories for another day, and that's nothing to deal with paranormal. So, but anyway, I took this tour. We'll get started with the tour now. I think I ran my mouth and ran it long enough for about everything that goes on and the designs and everything like that. But let's get down to the tour. So we start out. There's a bunch of us in line for it, but the line went really, really smooth, really, really nice, really quick. And once you get in there, you just have this feeling of being tiny, insignificant, just simply because of the sheer size of this. I'm almost wanting to call it a monstrosity of a building. I mean, that place is huge. Anyway, when you took the tour, the way they had it, it's a self-guided tour. You can, in the on season at the Reformatory, you can take a self-guided tour, or you can take one that has the tour guide, where it's a guided tour, and I think you get to go into a little bit more areas within the Reformatory than you do in the self-guided tour. So, they had it closed because of incarceration to the public, and so only people who were, able to, have bought a ticket and everything to go to the music festival, they were allowed in. Anyway, we go in, and you can start feeling like it's like the whole building itself has a presence in your mind. I don't know if it's just because of just how enormous the place is itself, or if it's something a little otherworldly. It makes you feel almost like a child with everything, in my opinion. That's how my personal feeling was, that you feel just so small, but also at the same time it feels crowded. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna tell y'all, it was each day at the festival there was over 30,000 people in attendance. So yeah, of course you can sit there and say, oh well, of course you feel crowded, there's so many people there. But no, not everybody wanted to go and take a tour of this place. I'd say maybe 300, 400 people, and in a place this big. I mean, y'all, this place is huge. 300, 400 people really don't make a difference in there. You can space out 300, 400 people easily in here. I'm telling y'all, if you ever been, you'll know what I mean. 300, 400 people ain't nothing in this place. And you just feel crowded, right? You feel crowded. So, they say the administration area and everything's really haunted. I really couldn't feel anything, but I think it was because of the amount of people coming in and out. You also had some of the tattoo artists down in parts of the building itself. So, that can tend to have, the more people you have in an area, maybe the less activity you're going to see, because most of it's going to be possibly, explained away by, oh, well, there's a lot of people. Maybe somebody bumped into that. Maybe somebody did this. But, safe to say, there was some things that I did notice that were out of the ordinary. How's that for everybody? That would be the best way to put it. Out of the ordinary. And, we're going through all the administration area, but what they have you do is you climb up and up and up. The tour really, really doesn't start till you get to almost the top of the building. And you get to go through all of the rooms and everything where it was more like back where they had the Reformatory time, like where you had the rooms for some of the people and everything like that. So you had, it was normal everyday thing until you get to the room with the chair. Now, I know some of y'all listening in know exactly what I'm talking about with the room with the chair. It's a simple chair. It looks like a chair that most of y'all probably had while y'all were in school, like at the lunchroom and things like that. It was, common plastic chair, metal feet. Overall, nothing special about it. It's not some ornate Gatsby era style chair or like Victorian style chair. No, we're talking about just a plain old run of the mill school styled resin plastic chair with the metal legs. I have a picture of it, so it's coming up. So y'all see this right here. It's simple, right? Simple. But this room is just one place you don't want to sit down in. It is said that if you sit in the chair long enough, that one of the ghosts of the inmates will come and sometimes with force remove you from the chair. But if the energy's not there for it to build up for the big push, so to say, it'll make you feel highly uncomfortable and you'll just want to leave. So I wasn't gonna press my luck. I really wasn't. I had made a promise that I wasn't gonna bring anything home with me. I've been lucky so far in all the places that I've ever been to that's been haunted that I haven't brought anything home. The only thing I got in my house is it's like a little ghost cat or something. I call them Snowbell. So, that is the only thing I got in the house, and I'll keep it that way too. I'll tell y'all more about Snowbell if y'all want to hear it, but that'll be another episode. But anyway, when you get in that room, you do feel, well, I felt personally. I don't know how everybody else was laughing around, playing. People sat in the chair. People took pictures and everything like that. I wasn't going to play around with the paranormal, with that type of thing, because you never know. Anyway, I did feel slightly uncomfortable in there. There was only me and like 2 other people in that room, and I was looking around and everything like that. And it was a feeling of discomfort in there. But it wasn't as extreme as other locations that I'm going to tell y'all about. It was really, really bad. And these are the main ones that I'll tell you and go through. After that, you go in through all the other areas. There's it's like I'm not going to call it a cathedral. That was the first thing that popped in my mind. But it's more like where they had the church services and everything like that for the prisoners and everything. So, it was huge, huge, huge. Nothing felt there. I mean, here's the pictures of it right here. But this, while eerie, I could feel nothing in this area at all. It was only later when I started going into the warden's rooms that I feel a little strangeness, and it only got worse after that. So, as we made our way down or over to the warden's quarters, I mean, yes, there's people around, there's people, but everybody was going in one direction, 'cause you have a plot course, set aside for you where you have to follow the arrows and everything like that will lead you towards the end of the tour. I just kept on having a feeling that because it was an area where you couldn't go through and everything like that, but you just felt like somebody was peering out, like, are they leaving yet? Why are people in my spot? You just felt that feeling of being watched. Any of y'all ever have that where you just feel eyes on the back of your eyes just staring at you, and it's like you look and there's nobody really paying any particular attention to you? I mean, I had my head up looking around and everything like that, and most everybody else was doing pretty much the same thing. They weren't sitting there looking at people, but I felt eyes like they were peeking from a corner trying to scope out everybody and see what was going on. I just get a sense that maybe that was Mr. and Mrs. Gatke, or Warden Gatke and his wife, I guess. But mainly, it felt more or less feminine, I could guess you could almost say now about it. It's just something away. If y'all know what I'm talking about, where you feel eyes on you and you can sense whether it's male or female looking at you. You can sit there and be like, hey, 1 minute you're just sitting there standing, all of a sudden you feel eyes, and you just feel like it's kind of like more of a bigger presence, more kind of, you could feel slight undertones of aggression and things like that. I feel that equates more to like a somewhat male gaze. I'm not trying to sit there and say all men are like aggressive or anything like that, but and bigger, and I'm not trying to. What I'm trying to get at is there's a difference in how you can know if you're in tuned enough that you can feel like somebody staring at you, like staring at the back of your head and everything like that. You can kind of gauge. Oh, okay, that's a man, and you turn around, it's a man. Or that's a woman. Yeah, you turn around, it is a woman. If any of y'all have noticed that before and had that happen before, you know what I'm talking about. But this felt more feminine, more like a little bit more reserved, kind of off to the side, like, oh, I wish these people would get out of my house. It was kind of like that, slight, like put out almost. Like, why are you here? Why are you in my area? That's what I was feeling there. So I kind of moved out of there. But there's some areas it was nothing really to know. What my biggest um sense of the whole tour was in the cell blocks. The cell blocks are the setup of the cell blocks. It is the largest structure of its kind in the world. 6 levels. It's basically freestanding. You have like little walkways that will make you be able to get into the area, or there's a winding staircase, which the winding staircase was out of order due to its age, and it's not exactly that stable anymore, because it's been around for over 100 years now. But anyway, the sixth floor of the cell block was intense. I mean, you have a walkway. Like, I'm showing it in the picture right now. This walkway, it's small. I mean, I'm not a really big person myself. I mean, I ain't tall. I ain't really big at all. And I felt claustrophobic. So you can imagine a big, burly, 6'3", 250-pound guard walking that. Isn't you have no room to move from the prison cells. So if you had some run in with an inmate or something and you're a guard, you best watch where you're going, just simply because you don't have the space to maneuver around. In my mind, I could just sit there and imagine where a person could reach their arm out from the bars and just put you in a chokehold. Grab you, and if you were a guard, grab your gun, grab your keys, and voila. So, I mean, that's probably what happened with some of those two guards that had done passed in that area, but I digress. They didn't go into it, so that's just my thoughts. But you felt the feeling of claustrophobia, and not only that, like just peering into one of the empty cells, which here's a picture right here. Just this is a random cell. I don't remember exactly what level I took this picture on, but it's eerie. It's real eerie. I literally felt like somebody was staring out at me through those bars, angry. Angry that I was out. Angry that I was sitting there just coming through, watching and taking pictures. You feel the rage, you feel the anger in some of those cells, especially on the 6th level, for some odd reason. The 6th level, I just started feeling the pressure in my chest and everything like that. When I got down to the 5th level, I didn't feel anything. I didn't. I really, really didn't. It was when I got to the 4th level. That's when I had a real big problem. I got to the point where, I mean, all these levels, they look the same. Cells. And on the other side of you is kind of like a big old bird cage, right? You got the outside bars that keep you from falling over because this is a high structure. And then you got the bars to the other side of you, and that's where the prisoners are, or where they were, and up until until 1990. But you just, I was walking and walking. I mean, all these, they all look the same. There's historic markers to mark off certain things within these areas and things like that. And you know, I saw some of them, but there was nothing so far on the 4th level. I was going through. I was about a quarter of a way through, and all of a sudden, it felt like a panic attack coming on. And I don't get panic attacks. I don't get panic attacks at all. I just felt like a pressure, deep pressure in my chest where I couldn't hardly breathe, and I just felt really sick. First things that were running through my head, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I need to calm down. What is going on? My mind was just reeling, trying to figure out why on earth I was sitting there going through such an issue. I've never had a panic attack unless it was just more brought on by stress, and that's very, 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 very rare. I've only had maybe one or two in all my years living. I've never had one. Really, like, you know, I'm saying never, but it's just I've never had something like that hit me. Just very, very rarely have I ever had it. But it's just, I felt really like I was about to just, I was either going to pass out because of the whole feeling, or I needed to get out. I was about to start running because I really couldn't catch my breath, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was going on. I start walking forward. I'm like, okay, maybe somebody had sprayed something. Maybe I'm just having some sort of allergic reaction of whatever somebody had on. You know, stuff like that. That happens. I move on further. Come to find out, I was two cells away from a historic marker. And on the historic marker, it mentioned how 2 inmates were let into that cell, and they strangled and pressed the inmate who lived in that cell to death. Let that sink in for a moment, y'all. the situation I was going through and how close I was to that particular cell. Now I've seen video the paranormal investigators go to the prison, OSR several times, but to actually experience it and not really realize how close I was to this particular cell, it kind of unnerved me that I felt something like that. After I got off the fourth level of the structure, the freestanding cell block structure, and we went through 3, 2, 1. There was no problems or anything like that. But what was also just really an eerie feeling, I don't know if it was just because of the differences of how it looked from the rest of the building. I mean, you had like the guards' quarters and all the living quarters and everything like that they used to have before, and that was the area with the chair and everything. Um, you went there first, and then you had the warden's quarters and everything like that. Then you go to the freestanding cell block, and you go through that whole area and everything. I mean, you don't hit every single area you can, or you can also they have guides and everything who will show you a different direction and everything like that, of where you can go if you just don't want to see all the cell blocks and everything like that. But I digress with that. Um, but when you get towards the bottom, it was such an eerie feeling when you come through. Um, it's more like, almost like solitary cells where you had no way to looking in except at the bars on the door. I got a picture of it right here. You can see. It was strange. I mean, you really couldn't see inside it. You just had this feeling of being watched. I mean, that's how I felt. Like somebody was peeking through those bars at you while you're walking by and everything like that. And I really personally, some people did, but me personally, I wasn't gonna go near those because it's just the feeling I had in my gut that I don't want to look in there because I don't want to see what I thought I might have could have seen. So I didn't look inside it. I just try to keep in the middle of the hall because I don't know. I felt like as if I got closer, somebody might try to put their arm out. I mean, that was a high up window, but still, just feel like somebody was going to try to grab you and pull you closer and things like that. Yeah, it was real strange, real eerie, and just totally. It just had a different dynamic than the rest of the building. You know what I mean? But anyway, while we're going through these halls and everything with these rooms with the solid steel doors with just a little space of a window that was barred. You you just got the sense of somebody's watching you, somebody's wanting to get you. And so I try to make my way through there quickly. I took this picture right here while I was doing that, and it was just still a bit unnerving. So anyway, this was getting closer to the end of the tour, and of course, a tour with the prison ain't complete until you take a look and see old Sparky. Yes, they had old Sparky set up, all pretty as you please, behind its own bar jail cell, and you could feel more of a, like it was a bad place. It was real somber. It was not. You just wanted to move. You know what I mean? You wanted to get away from there as quickly as possible. Some people playing around nearby and everything, which, to each their own and everything like that. But just the way I felt with it, I didn't want to have any sort of part with it. So I didn't take a picture of it or anything like that, but I do have all my other pictures. I can pull up for right here so y'all can see exactly, basically pretty much what old Sparky looks like, and y'all decide for yourself if what y'all feel the same way I feel. That's the best way I can put it. If y'all feel the same way I feel about it. But that was pretty much it for more of the paranormal side of the building. It has, in my personal opinion, it felt like a building that has a life of its own. You could feel the energy that was there, and I mean, having so many people, I mean, over 30,000 people. Not everybody went through the building, of course, like I said before, but the energy surrounding with all the people, all the music, all everything that was going on at the time, that you could feel a presence of an energy of the building, like it had a life of its own, and that it it tried to contact. If you were sensitive enough, it reached out to you. Any of y'all ever been in a place like that where it just did something like that, where it reached out to you and it just begged for your attention? That's what it did. That's what OSR did to me. And now, I'm sitting here. It's been a little over a month now since I've been. I know it's taken me a long time to get this, and the video that I previously did with the music and everything. It was a short clip. This is a much, much longer one because I'm running my mouth at y'all with this whole thing. But yeah, it was something that I really wanted to do. I love the paranormal. I go to paranormal buildings. I already told y'all I've been to Fort William Henry up in Lake George, New York, and just it was interesting to go there. I've been to places like Andersonville, down in Andersonville, Georgia. I've been to another place in Georgia called Fort Frederica. I've been to St. Augustine, Florida, and seen the forts there. There's a lot of places that beg for people to come, I should say. It calls out to you in a certain way, and if you're paying attention enough to the place, you will see and will notice different parts of these locations that kind of call you a little bit more. I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent with this, but I'm hoping y'all can try to understand what I'm saying with it, because that's the only way I can describe it. It's like, hey, I know you're here. I know you can feel me. I know you can sense me, but pay attention to me. It was one of those situations, and in all those situations, I've tried. I wanted to spend more time. I would have loved to spend more time in all these areas I've mentioned, but of course, I was with other people at the time, and it just they wouldn't have understood. They wouldn't have understood what I'm talking about or what I'm getting about. I'm hoping y'all do a bit. It's just like a little faint call that you just like a siren's call. Any of y'all read the Odyssey, the Iliad, and things like that? It's like the siren's call to the sailors that want to pull them in and bash them against the rocks. I'm hoping that's not what I was experiencing. I don't want the end result of a siren's call, y'all know. But that's kind of what I feel and I sense when I go to these type of locations that I go to at times. I don't go to too many of them. I mean, one of probably the next one I would love to go to is I gotta just get everything together with it and make a plan for it. I would love to go to the Eastern State Penitentiary over in Pennsylvania. Heard a lot of things about that. I've seen a lot of videos of people who went there and captured a lot of evidence and had feelings kind of similar to what I'm telling you about for OSR. And I really would love, that would be one of the other ones on my paranormal bucket list, so to say, Oh, another good one. I almost forgot about this one. Savannah, Georgia. Now that right there, my friend, wall to wall. I've never been to any city that felt like Savannah. And I really want to go back again. I mean, it ain't too much of a leap in general for me, like what Ohio, New York, or Pennsylvania is, but I would love to go there back again and just take my trip through there slowly by myself and let it all just come to me a bit. But I'm getting a bit off track now. There's one I told y'all about the thoughts and the feelings I had, the near-on panic attack where I couldn't breathe on the 4th level of OSR now. But this one, this is what got me. And it didn't even happen on the day that I went into the Ohio State Reformatory and did the prison tour. It happened in the lower levels, and it happened after the fact that I had been in the lower levels. I did they offer at the Ohio State Reformatory. I would go ahead and use the full name now, because so y'all can look it up. There is all year round a blood prison tour. One of the biggest times to go through it, though, is I think end of September to early November. Of course, Halloween season. From what I hear, what they do is they actually showcase the whole building and as a haunted house. Throughout regular times, they'll have it in the lower levels and in the hole and everything like that. So you do get to go into solitary confinement when you go into and see the haunted house and everything. Oh, it was great. I mean, it didn't scare me any. I've been to places where it's you get the feeling of being a lot scarier. But they go through and they do the kitchens, the some of the other living quarters, the laundry area, and stuff like that. And then you go into the basement. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, some of this is dark as night in there while you're moving around, and people jumping out at you and everything like that. So it really brings the fear out of somebody. So that motion is going to be running rampant, especially in the basement. So you can imagine going and investigating the hole after having all these haunted houses and everything, and all the scares, the jump scares and everything, that all that emotion people have. I know it pretty much riled up anything that would have been down there. But anyway, I went through, had a good laugh, because there was a person in there that was any little jump scare got her. I just feel that maybe she's never been in a haunted house before, never really watched a lot of horror movies, or just generally more of a person who gets scared very easily. I do not for a fact get scared very easily. I've been in situations where I have been scared, but when it comes to haunted houses and things like that, I kind of expect the things that happen, and that's what happens. But anyway, went through it, had a big old laugh and everything like that. But that was the time I stayed the most at the concert, because of the last 3 bands that were playing. It was Slaughter to Prevail, Slipknot, and, well, Slipknot was last, but then it was Slaughter to Prevail, Marilyn Manson, and then Slipknot. So I was staying for that, definitely. But when I got back to the hotel, I got there about 11 o'clock at night. I was tired. I was worn out. I woke up super early. It was about like 6 o'clock I had woke up in the morning, and I had been out since about 8 o'clock in the morning. And getting back at 11 o'clock, completely soaked, drenched, freezing my butt off. because of the pouring down rain that had happened during the last 3 sets of the day. So, I get there, I hurry up, get ready for bed, and then I lay down and I sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night because I had to use the restroom. So, y'all all know, y'all all probably been in a hotel before. You know how there's two beds normally in a hotel room? Well, I always take the bed closest to the door. For some strange reason, I am always close to the door because it's closer to the bathroom. I think that's the main reason, is because it's closer to the bathroom. Anyway, I got up to go to the restroom, and I ended up, instead of getting out and walking in between the two beds where there's a bigger space, I walked between the bed and the wall, go to the bathroom, and then I come back out. And I always, as a precaution for me, because I don't know, it's not like my home. I can walk around in my home with no lights on whatsoever and be completely comfortable. I mean, the only thing I got to worry about is my cats getting them under my feet. But other than that, I know where everything is. I know y'all probably are the same way too. But so I keep the bathroom light on so I can be able to see if I need to get up in the middle of the night, which, case in point, I did. It was probably, I think I checked my watch. It was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, come out the bathroom, and y'all know how all these hotels, they have dressers that nobody really uses because nobody's gonna want to forget the stuff. So I'm coming, and no dresser drawers are open. I don't touch dresser drawers in a hotel because I'm not going to be in there long enough. I'm not putting anything in there. The only one I'll ever check is the one that's right there. It's almost like a nightstand, and I'll see if they got a pen or something under there so I can maybe write something down that I had a thought come to my mind or anything like that. But anyway, I'm coming out, and I had the TV on too. It was on low and everything. But I'm looking to see what was on it. And I ended up looking down, and the damn drawer from the chest of drawers was open. And I told y'all I ain't never been in them or anything like that, but it was partially open. I look around, of course, because I'm looking to make sure nobody came in there while I was sleeping or something, and then they were trying to hide and trying to do something while I was in the bathroom. But I swear to y'all, that drawer was not open when I woke up. And then I go to the bathroom. I come back out, and it's open. So that was the biggest experience I had while I was there. I mean, I would love to have had more experiences. I guarantee you, if I probably stayed around in OSR a bit longer instead of just going and doing the quick tour and then coming right back out, I would have, probably maybe had some more experiences, because they were trying and attempting to contact me through my emotions and things like that. Yeah, I could feel. But the biggest thing was the dresser drawer popping open, and I ain't touch it. I ain't do nothing with it. So I took a deep breath. I told them, hey, now, I see y'all trying to get a hold of me. I really need to sleep. And I know you probably followed me. So I said, please, I want to sleep. And don't follow me home. You can stay here if you want in the hotel. It probably is a better upgrade than what you had over at OSR. But you can stay here if you want. But please don't follow me home. And I haven't. It's been over a month. I ain't had any activity in my home, with the exception of some other activity that is a common occurrence in my home, which I'll tell y'all more about it if y'all want to hear about that one. I got several good ones with that one. But anyway, that's pretty much it. My experience of going to the Ohio State Reformatory and going through with the tour that they have for the prison. I know it's a lot longer than the music one, but of course, like I told y'all before, paranormal is my cup of tea. Music is up there too. but not as high as paranormal. I hope y'all enjoyed my little story. If y'all like, I do have plenty more paranormal stories of things that have happened to me personally, and I have some that's done happen to my family members and things like that. And if y'all want to hear them, let me know down in the comments below. Other than that, I just hope y'all enjoyed it, and like and subscribe, y'all, for more paranormal. I'll see y'all later, and y'all take care.